You can go on a search forever and not find it. And if you find it, just in case, if you find it, you will dismantle it in such a way that you'll dismantle your very life. To dismantle it skillfully, that just the karmic aspect falls off and you exist as a liberated being, that takes lots of skill. It is for that skill that you come to your guru. It is your karma that you have to endure me. These are three books where I actually sat down and worked on it. Otherwise, they're just compilations of talks. So in that sense, I wanted to create a multi-layered book so that it'll be relevant through your life. You can read it many times. Every time you read it, it'll be like a new book. So those who are in a better economic condition or social condition, they would like to believe they've done good karma elsewhere, so they're enjoying everything here now. No. You must understand, karma is not necessarily about the past.
The karma usually is categorized into four parts. One is prarabdha karma, another is sanchita karma. Sanchi ante em telusa? Sanchi? Gunny sack. So, prarabdha is the allotted karma for a lifetime. This prarabdha will determine your lifespan. If I dissolve your prarabdha today, you could die tomorrow morning. You may be perfectly healthy, but you will die tomorrow morning because your software is gone. There's no this thing for this body. Suddenly you may become still absolutely beautiful state for some time and poof. So we will never touch the prarabdha. We are touching the sanchi. There's a warehouse of karma which doesn't come into play at all in this life. It never comes into play in this life. It is not about this, but it gives you substance. So, if we dissolve the sanchita, it's a large warehouse, it's not a simple warehouse, a very complex warehouse. If this begins to dissolve, then you find nothing has changed about your life, but it's like a kind of a transparency. The opaque nature of your existence is reduced. But no transformation in you, everything is same, you're just the same person. You wonder what the hell is happening, is this really spiritual process, is this all a dream? You're still the same, you got the same problems, you got everything same. But there is a sense of translucence in the body. Body feels little, as if it's got a little bit of holes in it. You begin to feel like a sieve, not a solid stuff. So that may take some time because this is a large warehouse. Why I'm telling you this is because whenever you do spiritual sadhana, you're expecting a result and many of you are trying to create a result. Never try to create a result. If you try to create a result, it's a made-up one and it's not going to last. See, somebody tells you, be loving. 3 days you act loving and all your frustrations build up. Everybody feels awkward with your love and your frustrations build up and one day you're going to burst like a cracker. Hasn't this happened? After a very loving spell, hasn't this happened? Because you're trying to be something without changing the basis of who you are. 98% of your mind is unconscious. That is sanchita. It never comes into play, but always there, influencing everything. So we are not looking for any quick transformation, tomorrow you go out with bleeding heart or something like this, I'm not interested. It is just that the inner substance is slowly taken away. The outer thing you play the game, what's the big deal? Have you seen sometimes termites have eaten up from inside, just the paint coat is left, you go and touch it, buchuk. So the intention is to make you like that. Only one layer of paint coat is left, inside all gone. Sometime when the end is coming, if you touch and see buchuk, no substance inside. Is that okay?
Yes.
Karma, probably one of the most misunderstood words. For sure, it's become part of the English lexicon today, but misunderstood and misinterpreted in a million different ways. A range of things. The very way the nature of karma is just like that, its interpretations. The karmic structure is a very complex mess. But there are very, very descriptive stories in the Indian culture about the type of jewelry the courtesans used to wear. That is, very famous courtesans were covered in gold and diamonds. No clothes, only jewelry covered their body. Such complex jewelry that when the men who came to them, they had no clue how to take off this jewelry because it was such a complex web of chains. Try as hard as they did, but they cannot get this jewelry off. Jewelry is beautiful, but for a man whose mind is running riot with lust, this is a barrier. So, usually she encourages him to drink and drink, little more and little more, so that he sleeps and gifts her more jewelry and goes home. But when she wants to take it off, there is just one pin normally located at where our anahata is. This one pin, if she pulls, the entire jewelry falls down in one just like that, it falls down. Karma is like this, it's a complex web of chains. Some of them, of course, decorated with diamonds, some are ugly, some are rusted chains, but chains and chains and chains. But there is just one single pin. Only because you are not able to consciously find that pin, the fundamental reason let me tell you, the fundamental reason why there is a culture or there is a tradition of depending upon a guru for one's spiritual growth is just this, that you want him to pull the plug when the time is ripe. Because in this complex web of chains, you don't know where the pin is. Right now, if you try to find it, you can go on a search forever and not find it. And if you find it, just in case, if you find it, you will dismantle it in such a way that you'll dismantle your very life. To dismantle it skillfully, that just the karmic aspect falls off and you exist as a liberated being, that takes lots of skill. It is for that skill that you come to your guru. It is your karma that you have to endure me. If you had figured it out yourself, you didn't have to bother about me. So, Sadhguru, when are you going to pull my plug? That means you're not ready yet. If you are in a state where you think your karma is a burden and you must get rid of it, you are not yet ready for it. If you come to a state where you have learnt how to transform every memory, conscious and unconscious, pleasant and unpleasant, beautiful and horrendous ones, everything into well-being. If you come to that state, then it'll be good for me to pull the pin. Now if you pull the pin because this is not liberation, this is an escape. There is difference between walking out of this body and committing suicide. They're two different things altogether. Committing suicide means you want to escape a difficult situation. Walking out of this means your term is over, your time is up, so they've released you. These are two different things completely. If you escape from the prison, you will have to run for the rest of your life. But if you're freed from the prison because your term is up, then you're a free man. That's a big difference. It's wonderful to be here. Coming to karma, you were talking about sutra. Well, as you know, Yoga Sutras and various other sutras, the word sutra literally means a thread, which is related to stitch and suture, of course. So when you give a thread, like you can wear a garland, nobody wears a garland for its thread, but without a thread, there is no garland. Once you have the thread, you can add flowers to it, you can add mud beads to it, you can add pearls to it, you can add diamonds to it. It depends on your experience of life. So, but the sutra cannot change because without the thread, there is no mala or there is no garland. So, this is… it is a multi-layered book in such a way that each person, when they read it, it will relate to them as it's relevant to them. But as they evolve in their life, if they read it today and read it after 5 years, it'll be a different book. If they read it after 20 years, it'll be a completely different book. So, we took a certain amount of… normally most of the 120 and odd books that have been published, largely there's what I have spoken in variety of situations, somebody puts it together and publishes a book. This is among the first few books. The first one was in engineering and this one, and there's a book on death, which we released only in India. These are 3 books where I actually sat down and worked on it. Otherwise, they're just compilations of talks. So in that sense, I wanted to create a multi-layered book so that it'll be relevant through your life. You can read it many times. Every time you read it, it'll be like a new book, because first time you might have just had tiny little weed flowers, next time you may have roses, next time you have… it's your own experience of life. So having said that, well, the karma as a fundamental principle of life, people are thinking it's a concept. It is not a concept. See, who we are is a product of the memory that we carry in our body. Now, this is a human body. Why? There is evolutionary memory to say this is human body. This is my body. Why? Because there is genetic memory to say this is this kind of body. Like this, there are many layers of memory. We usually in yoga, we identify 8 significant forms of memory. It's all this amalgamation of this complex web of memory which makes you who you are, which makes me who I am, which makes everybody who they are. So, memory is a great possibility. Without it, we wouldn't be nothing. The richness of our life is only because of the vividness and vastness of memory that we carry in our lives. At the same time, memory is also a boundary. If you are in my memory, I say, oh, this is my friend. If you are not in my memory, I say, oh, this is a stranger, okay? So memory is a great possibility. At the same time, memory is also a boundary that you set. So this
memory bank which is in complex varieties, which all of it may not be something that you can pull out and articulate or remember, but it is playing a role in the very way you sit, the very way you stand, your genetic memory is playing its role. If you see somebody walking half a mile away, if you know the person, just the way they're moving their hand, out of the 7 billion people, you can recognize, this is my friend, all right? Because there is a unique way his body moves because of the kind of amalgamation of memory that he has within himself, he or she has. So based on this memory or this karma as we call it, karma means accumulated memory of variety of kinds. It goes far beyond one's logical understanding of life. But at least from the point of our understanding, from the moment you are born to this moment, everything that you have done in terms of action, thought, emotion and energetic fluctuations, all of that is remembered within this. All that is determining the characteristic of who you are. Now this memory, if it works like a platform or a stage for you to stand upon and do your dance of the day, it's fine. But for most people, because there is not enough surface tension on their karmic body, now when they put their foot there, it sinks in. So past lives now. People are suffering what happened 10 years ago. And because this happens, this memory projects itself as imagination and they're able to suffer what may happen day after tomorrow already. So this human suffering is essentially a consequence of your inability to handle your memory. Your inability to handle your memory also means it's your inability to handle your basic faculties of vivid memory and fantastic imagination. Once you don't have these two things, once you start suffering this, you will start reducing it in some way. Knowingly or unknowingly, you start pushing it down. If these two things go away, you're not even human.
Sadhguru, in your new book, Karma, you explain that karma just means action, that there is no such thing as a system of rewards and punishments for your good deeds and your bad deeds after you die, that there is no such thing as a divine ledger in the sky where all of your accounts are being kept as to how angry God or the gods are at you. Do you think that the reason that the belief that karma is a system of rewards and punishments, a misunderstanding that's been going on for millennium, do you think that that continues to thrive because there's a gang of unemployed souls on the other side who just think it's a really fun role to play, to be divinely engaged royal accountants taking care of all those ledgers? Thanks.
Namaskaram, George. I know you're talking about those privileged unemployed people. Unemployment is a curse at one stage of life. But once they get employed, everybody is looking how to get unemployed because everybody is looking forward for a vacation, which is unemployment, a weekend, which is unemployment, because they are not interested in what they are doing, they are only interested in what they will get out of it. So thank God it's Friday, you know. So, about karma. Karma is not definitely about reward and punishment. So those who are in a better economic condition or social condition, They would like to believe they've done good karma elsewhere, so they're enjoying everything here now. No. You must understand, karma is not necessarily about the past, it is about now. So one's experience of life is entirely decided by one's karma. One's situation in which one exists may not be entirely determined by one's karma, because situation is of the times, of geography. Like 1,000 years ago, if we were here, we wouldn't be in this kind of situation. Does it mean to say we had bad karma then and now we have good karma? No. So let us not judge karma by one's situations. Yes, there also it is involved, but situation is more of a collective karma than of individual karma. Individual karma is definitely there, but collective karma is there because the time and the place where you are determines a lot of things. But internally, in terms of human experience, how joyful you are, how peaceful you are, how loving you are, how wonderful is your experience of life, this is entirely your karma, because the pleasantness of the body, the pleasantness of the mind, the pleasantness of our life energies and our emotions are 100% in our hands. Human experience happens from within. That means it's entirely our karma. We can make it the way we want. If we make our human experience very pleasant on all these four levels, in body we are healthy and exuberant, in mind we are peaceful and joyful, in emotion we are loving and compassionate, in our life energies we are blissful and edging on ecstasy. Now outside situations will not determine the nature of our experience. Outside situations we can strive to improve, we can strive to change, but as I said, in the outside situation there are many pieces. All those pieces don't belong to us. We also are one piece. Depending upon one's skill, intelligence, capability and willingness to strive, that piece can be enhanced, but it is never 100% yours or mine, the outside situation. It is also the times in which we exist which determines what kind of situations we are in. But human experience is entirely our karma and we must take charge of that first. If we take charge of this, our ability to create external situations also the way we want it is greatly enhanced. So karma is not about punishment and reward. Karma is not a book written somewhere, some ledger that somebody is looking at and punishing you or rewarding you. This gift culture from heaven must go, because for all the things that you do very easily, you can pass this off as God's will. Many terrible things men have done have always been passed off as divine will, all right? So it's very important that we move people from religious beliefs to a responsible existence here, because this is a brief life. If we want to make something out of this must be our making. This is our karma. This is what karma means. Karma means, when I say my life is my karma, it means that my life is my making. If I am doing well, it's me. If I am not doing well, it's me. If I have a fantastic experience here, it's me. If I have a miserable experience, it's me. This much straightness of life everybody must get, that you are straight enough to admit that both your success and failure, your joy and misery, especially the inner things of joy and misery, peacefulness and turmoil, these things are 100% you are making. This is what karma means. Karma is not a ledger up there. This body, this mind, this energy is our ledger. Here it is and it plays out in so many ways. If we perform this moment's karma consciously, whatever our past karma, there is a way to transcend that.